Yeah, I don't know why this ear just gets every once in a while it gets clogged with like earwax for no reason. I'm not really sure why it says here only, but whatever.
Someone, a bee is flying into your head.
So maybe.
Bee wax in it.
Damn.
Maybe you're sleeping more on that side of the head than on the other.
Yeah, maybe. Fuck, that might be it.
That happens to me too.
Yeah.
My left ear tends to get more earwax than my right.
Oh, okay, that might be it then. I know when this happens, usually I get really bad vertigo, but it hasn't happened yet. So
I mean, it doesn't get as bad as vertigo for me, but my doctor says that it's because I tend to sleep more on one side than on the other.
Oh, okay. Guess I'll sleep on my back.
It's basically like the sweat and the shit like builds up and creates.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Before I used to get lots of earwax in my ears from earphones, and I started using headphones. I was still getting it. I was like, "What the heck's going on?" But that makes sense.
My earwax is actually not like the typical earwax. Mine is actually drier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Easier to get out.
Sure.
Yeah. Mine takes a little bit to get out sometimes.
I mean, it's not like easier to get out, but like if you don't like clean it constantly, it actually builds up and it's like a pain in the ass.
Oh, gotcha.
To take it off. And also a little bit thing is my ears. My left side, it's I have like it's not like a real regular ear. It has like a malformation.
Oh, so, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so if I'm not careful, I could poke anything in my ear and I start, to bleed. So. Yeah. I think it's my left or my right, but it's one of the two that I have a malformation in my ear.
Okay.
Okay, we're missing Future.
Yep.
Yeah, he said
Future is going to be a bit late.
I have his character sheet.
It's gonna be a bit late. Okay. So if you would, please, let's get started.
Go high or low.
Last time we went low, so this time we're going closest to 50.
Yes.
No.
Let's go, not
me. Fuck.
98, damn. Alright, not me.
Come on. Go!
Yes!
What happened?
I got a 51. I got.
Yeah, we need to see what Idris gets.
Please get a 50. Get a.
I have a feeling.
49.
I have a feeling that Checo is really close to 50.
It's 51. Yeah.
Just don't get a 50.
Oh, 51? Oh my god. We got the extreme. We got both of the extremes here.
I believe in you.
Oh, shit.
Wow, sorry,
fuck.
Let's go.
Okay,
man, we got the high, we got the low, and we got the middle.
You mind explaining the class what happened last time with the Mexicans?
Yes, we actually after we got out of the simulations, we actually we managed to know where we are. We were in an abandoned laboratory thing it was called. Oh, not like a laboratory, more like
a fortress.
Yeah, it was a fortress. That the Matra made back in the day, back when they started to, that we also learned that the fortress was abandoned because of an attack from the surface, by combination of humans, elves, and what was the other one? The Americans. Yeah, there you go. We also we stupidly decided to teleport the fortress to get closer to the city, and the shields that were supposed to clear out the area fell, and we actually managed to basically destroy it. Well, not destroy it, but like damage it, basically beyond repair. And we also got new toys. We got new weapons too. We got rifles, stone. What's it called? Constone, and what was the other one? Shit, what is the other one?
No blade.
Oh yeah, a no blade.
and two quills.
Yep. So that's what basically we left off. I will say yesterday. Last session we left off on we're getting out of to the square, and we heard voices saying "What the fuck" when we stop the teleportations. I mean, when the teleportation stopped and get us back into the original place.
Okay. Does anybody else would like to add something else?
Mm.
Okay. So, as you get out into the square, basically, first thing you hear is "What the fuck" is coming from the far end of where you came out of. Make a perception check.
Okay.
All right.
Right off the bat.
Yep.
15.
8.
Oof.
Well
Oof.
done.
Jesus.
Okay.
Hey.
Perception. Oops.
25.
Perception. Where's my perception? Okay, it's up to 7. D20 plus 7. Oops. There you go. And it's an 18 for me.
Okay. So, as you step out into the main square, the first thing you witness is essentially as if a massive natural disaster just had occurred. There's like sections of this place that are entirely collapsed, turned to rubble. Entire pieces or like portions of some of the towers you originally saw floating, kind of like bound by chains, now lie, creating a sort of like maze of rubble and stone in this courtyard. You hear the voice from behind all this rubble as you see all of the structures collapsing, or collapsed rather, around you, as if essentially this place was shook by some incredible natural phenomena. Looking to the sides, now you actually begin to discern the cave itself, or rather the cavernous uh, chamber you are in. That is almost in some points kind of like combined in a way, or rather the place where you were in some portions you see it basically lodged itself in a very unnatural way, with the walls and the cavernous structures that are in your most immediate surrounding. And by immediate I mean it's a big place, but you can still look up and you can see the face of like one of these cavernous walls kind of like coexist at the same time being lodged by a piece of a tower and a wall. And it's a bit of an unsettling sensation, because again, like you see natural geometry or geography or topography being blended in with a much more constructed construction, which is very, very unsettling. However, you are indeed outside. A couple of you kind of like think to yourselves, how the fuck did we even survive this? But here you are. So what do you do?
We heard some voices, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
We're over here.
Do you think it's a good idea to?
If they're speaking common, I
They're
think they
speaking
might
common,
not be
yeah.
too bad.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Argus. I mean, looking around, do we see anybody? We just heard some voices, right?
You heard voices from the far off end of the courtyard. Reminder, this is a big place.
Yeah.
You heard voices echoed by, well, the fact that you are in a cavernous location, but it's hard to judge the distance of said voices. However, there are voices, and indeed they spoke in the common tongue, so make of that whatever you will.
Okay.
I think I heard them going from that way. Let's just. Argus is gonna start heading in the direction of the voices.
Okay.
All right. Same here.
Okay.
So-
Yeah.
Actually, is it dark or do we still have the glow in
It's
the
the
light
up-
plants and stuff?
It's the Underdark.
Okay, cool.
It's dark. I mean, one of you is still carrying the torch, I'm assuming, or two of you
Yeah.
are still carrying the torches.
I think Devon has a torch.
Don,
Yeah, I have it.
So your immediate vicinity is dimly lit by the torch. The rest is just as the geography of the Underdark in your immediate vicinity is, which is, well, dark. There are no light sources or visible lights that you can see. And as such, everything is dark beyond your immediate vicinity. However, again, the ones of you that have dark vision were able to make out the general topography or rather unusual combination of, well, the circumstances you find yourselves in. However, you do begin to make your way up onto the courtyard, kind of like walking around and kind of like making your way through the rubbles of this place. And probably like as you're walking, a minute and a half goes by when you basically begin to hear steps and like voices that you unintelligible voices, as you know, almost as people kind of like conversing with each other, um, kind of like mumbling things. It's like a far off conversation, but you are able to basically discern the direction where that conversation is coming from. You continue to move, and at some point, you begin to tell those of you who have dark vision, begin to tell silhouettes off in the distance as they immediately turn against you, and basically one of them yells, "Halt! Identify yourselves."
Argus casts light. What are the Mexicans?
You,
We are Mexican. We're the Mexicans. We're working here
You
as
basically-
pathfinders.
as you basically standing there, kind of like you cast light, and as you're about to cast light, you feel every single fiber of your body, Argus, basically shake a little bit because you sense is this sort of like instinctive thing that people that have experienced combat have, whereas like you're being aimed at with every single thing under the sun. It's basically that sensation as you cast light the entirety of your immediate surroundings for the Mexicans. And as the light basically expands, you see that on the opposite end, where you sense all these things aiming at you, and the ones of you that have dark vision, you see silhouettes aiming whatever they were aiming at you. You hear a familiar voice. Well, I'll be damned.
Wait, familiar like the bull dude or Kairos?
Kyra said that being around you was exciting. I didn't mean this. I didn't understand just how until now. And then you see a dim light up, and you see this sort of like weirdly kind of like small wall being formed, as it's basically some sort of like cover or protection that looks like a quotation marks tiny, because it's basically a 10 by 10 feet wall, not wall, but like essentially fortification that just collapses into itself and finds its resting place in the hand of a very, very big black minotaur that you would know as Chief Thor. As he kind of like moves forward, weapons down, boys. These are the rookies. And he steps forward, and basically you hear as he's stepping forward the drag of something through the floor. As those of you who have dark vision, you kind of see that he whips basically something that he's holding in his hand. You can see as a giant ball of spikes whips in the air, tied by a chain with a handle, and suddenly attaches itself to the handle, and he kind of like flips it and puts it in a holster that he has to his side, as he basically brings his ginormous tower shield around his shoulder, putting it in the back, like carrying it as he moves past forward.
Oh shit.
And he kind of like, it's okay, they're safe. And are immediately around you, suddenly 3 blinks appear, 2 behind, 1 in front, as you see 3 mastiff looking, very large dogs, as they basically seem to be poised for an attack. And then they kind of like rear themselves up. These are basically like gray dogs, very, very large, that have this weird kind of like blue hue, almost like an extra mane that floats on top of their bodies as they basically move past you very quickly and very with a lot of agility. Join the third one that is in front of you. They all kind of like look at you with glowing blue eyes. They turn back and they go to where Chief Thor was. And as he kind of like moves forward, the dogs immediately flank Chief Thor and kind of like steps a little bit into the light that you created. Well, this is an interesting turn of events.
Yeah. So, did you get our other message about the Zill?
Aye. Drum
Okay.
has been very much forthcoming, but this is not a place to talk. I'm guessing you have a lot to tell.
Yeah, there's a
Judging
lot
by-
to talk about.
I mean, Grum told me you were coming in with a fortress. I really didn't understand you meant it literally, but
Yeah.
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
Come.
Yeah. Of course.
And he kind of like guides you. And he basically looks at the dogs, and the dogs basically blink out of existence. The three dogs blink out of existence as he continues to walk forward.
Oh shit.
Eventually, he guides you outside of the courtyard, and at this point, you kind of like begin to make your way out of the fortress itself. It takes you a good 3-4 minute walk. It's a big place, and as you're walking, make a perception check.
All right.
Oh, okay.
18.
13.
Oh, ooh, 24.
Ooh.
Got the
So, as you're making your way out, you begin to see that behind this sort of like advanced group that was basically that confronted you initially, there is a plethora of people going through the rubble. You see them carefully, kind of like looking at the rocks. You see others kind of like patrolling or like basically going around the outside where places you can access, looking at things. Some of them are illuminating certain surfaces. And as you move beyond that, you do see that right as you're about to exit the kind of like cobblestone floor and enter the cave floor itself, you kind of like look up and you do see remnants of what looks to be some sort of barrier that in some places is lodged against the cavernous structure of the rock itself within this chamber. And beyond that, almost precisely as you instructed, not 200 meters further from the position where you exited, the ginormous wall of Indomitus stands before you as you look up. One of the weird things you notice when you look up is that the sections of the barrier that still are up, as you look up, they basically cover the wall as almost like acting as some sort of like blinds that cover your vision from seeing the walls. It's a bit off-putting because the structure of this barrier itself is very nondescript. It looks like part of the environment, and you only notice that it is a barrier because it's lodged unnaturally against the rocky formations that are above you and to your sides. And when you step out, you kind of immediately notice the fact that there is like a thing that is basically blocking your view. And when you exit this barrier is when the entire kind of chamber opens before your eyes, and you see the giant wall of Indomitus and, well, the cavernous place, the enormously cavernous place where you cannot even see the ceiling of essentially this section of the Underdark. It's a bit, again, off-putting, the whole thing with the barrier. It's very, very unnatural. However, Chief Thor guides you out, and immediately, not 15 to 20 meters in front of this giant fortress, you see as several tents are being lifted up and assembled as you kind of like are walking in. Chief Thor basically goes to the only one that is at this moment up. It is, again, just a very basic tent that has a bunch of like like foldable furniture, stuff like that is being set to a side. Shifter basically grabs a chair like if it's a toothpick, and you see him carefully kind of like opening it up, very carefully, and kind of like places it on the floor. He's like, grab yourselves one. And he kind of like sits down. He takes his, again, it's an enormous tower shield. This thing is probably 7 to 8 feet tall.
Jesus.
Like, it is massive. Kind of like takes it off him.
Power shield's bigger than me.
Puts it on a core, puts it on like a side. It is essentially a door. It's huge. And he puts it to the side. He kind of like unsheaths his, what now you see is a mace that he's handling one-handed, but to you it would be basically unwieldable because it looks very heavy. And he kind of like flips the mace, puts it next to the shield, basically next to him, kind of like sits down, the 3 dogs that you saw earlier once again blink in, kind of like pets a couple. Good job. Go. And the dogs blink out again. Looks at you. Well,
It's been a very interesting.
his hands go like, what do you got to say for me?
There's a there's a lot going on right now. It's been an interesting past couple of days.
I guess, Steve, I've read Grum's reports. By the way, how's your injury? The whole thing with the eggs kind of nasty.
Argus like scratches his throat a little bit. It's healed. It's healed as best as it can. It was not good. Yeah.
Luckily for you, that could be resolved on field. Our closest support crew was a bit too far away to be able to tend to your wounds, and well, you're also just out of the range of our more immediate fast response teams in Andromeda, so you were in an unlucky spot.
Yeah.
Luckily for you, that got solved.
Yeah, thankfully it was only me and not anybody else.
And you see him basically pull out a flask, kind of like take a swig out of the flask.
Yeah, so
You mind explaining what that is?
this, as far as we know, is a dimensional fortress from the matriarch.
What? From the
yeah.
what?
Yeah, it was in the the astral plane, and then it just appeared around us suddenly.
Astral plane.
Yeah, as far as we're aware. Yeah. It was it was where we took camp after we were attacked by the Zill and killed a few of them.
He interrupts you, kind of like raises your hand, takes his hand to his ear. Yeah, get me Chief Schrenger. Yes. Tell her it's urgent.
Oh, fuck.
Okay. Just 1 second. You started talking dimensional fortress, matriarchy.
Yeah.
Just give me a second. Just take a seat. He kind of like takes out his ear. Yeah, bring some food over here. The rookies, they're a bit worse for wear. He's looking at all of you. Not looking that great. They're a bit worse for wear. Bring some food, some refreshments if possible. Yes. Thank you. Collectors, just give a second.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he points at the fortress. How?
How did it appear here? There's this
Well,
there's this thing that's apparently called an AI. It's some form of artificial consciousness. Yeah, it's an artificial consciousness within the fortress that's able to control it. It thought that we were the lords of the fortress, and so then it followed our commands.
Slow down, slow down, son. Slow down, son.
Okay, yes.
You gotta slow down.
Oh wait.
There's slow down.
There's mimics in there. They use them as furniture.
Yeah, true.
Um,
There is mimic
We
furniture.
weren't even walking through the castle. We were just traveling through the walls. It was
You kind of like takes that to his ear. Watch when studying the furniture, the mimics.
wait. Don't hurt them. They just
The-
be nice. You know. They're chill for the most part. You just don't try to talk to them or anything. Just yeah. They'll be happy if anybody's in there.
Other potentially deadly traps we may find inside.
Oh, we
You may
didn't
carry.
counter any deadly traps other than the mimics, but the mimics were actually happy to see
yeah.
us. It was kind of
Also, there was something that we forgot to mention earlier.
Out of your back, from your back, you kind of like sense this giant hulking figure approaching. You immediately turn back as you see the figure of, well, Lady Schrenger as she approaches you. Yes, Chief, you sent for me?
Oh my
And
God.
Chief was like, yeah, have you seen the thing? It's like, yes, I was just beginning my preliminary studies. And he looks at you. So you were responsible for bringing it here. And she kind of like moves incredibly. It's like off-putting just how quiet she moves. She is, again, almost like her body and her bulk is slightly smaller than Chief Thor, but she's big. Like
she
is
also a minotaur. Or?
she she's the spider milf that you met.
Oh, the spider. Oh yeah, fuck, that is the spider
Oh,
milk.
the spider milf. Oh.
Dude, you should have said that instead of this.
Milf.
Said Lady Schrenger. That's basically the name I gave
Yeah,
you.
but I
when you
remember
were
her
here.
as Spider Milk, alright?
Get by the spider milf. No.
or get me the spider milk.
So it is off-putting just how quietly she moves. It's like it's a 7 feet tall, probably around that height body, like her torso, and her body is pretty big. It's just long. She's a big milf. And however, she is incredibly quiet. Like she doesn't make sound. Like her footsteps don't make audible sounds. It's very upwarding. She moves basically in front of you guys, kind of like takes a more comfortable, leaning posture on her spider body. She looks at all of you. So,
To be clear, we didn't encounter any defenses or traps, but it views the city as a surface dweller and is an enemy, and we weren't able to make it change that designation.
But we did manage to get it to hold back on attacking the city by convincing it that we are its Underdark lords and that we were gonna be the ones to deal with it, and it just
Yeah.
happened to comply.
We put it in a support role, basically. It was
she looks at all of you. Let's go by parts. You're making no sense.
Okay, here. Let's start with how we encountered the thing to begin with.
I'll ask the questions if you would.
All right.
What is that?
It is a fortress that is able to travel between different planes of existence. A planar fortress, if you call it that.
See her snapping her fingers. She has like a duffel bag. She pulls like a stack of paper, and you see her basically kind of like wiggling her fingers on top of it. And from the duffel bag, this ink comes flying out, and the paper kind of begins to float next to her as the ink begins to take notes. So this
Okay.
is a fortress that can travel across planes.
Yep. It was made by the matriarchs around, I think, 10,000 years ago. What more? Let's see. Okay. It had a master, but it did not tell us its name. Apparently, that is classified information. And yes, the fortress does have an artificial consciousness within it that handles general information. But it seems to be
consciousness. You could elaborate about that?
okay. Okay, so in one of the rooms in the fortress, we encountered this, how to put it, this pool of water, a very large pool of water. And within it was the head of an aboleth. Apparently, the matriarchs or the drow of that era used this aboleth to create a form of artificial consciousness for them to store data or information in. And it handles this information and stores it and so on. That is the main way that we were able to get information about what happened, the origin of this fortress, and so on. There is another way that we managed to get information, which was a room or a few rooms that were able to, how to put it, run a person through another person's life. You were able to experience the life of a drow or a Duergar from back then during the war between the matriarchs or the drows and the Duergar. It was sort of a simulated life, if I were to call it that, a simulated experience. The purposes of which we are not sure, but through that we were able to get information through the through the experiences of the drow, and we managed to understand more of their lives back then. Which is part of the reason why we were able to navigate the fortress so well, since it was built for the drow and the matriarchs.
So you are unable to navigate this fortress or use any of its functions if you don't share this unique information you have.
Yes, some of the rooms are locked away by a certain code that we were only able to get through this past experience.
What is this code you speak of?
Dino, not Dino. Argus, you remember the code, don't you? Or was it?
I do remember the code. I mean,
Okay.
I think
It was-
Jamie remembers it too.
Lawrence was the one that was writing it down a bunch, but I mean, we all saw it.
Mhm.
I look at it. I mean, should we tell them?
Yeah, we should.
Yes, you
There-
should.
Argus says that out loud.
But Chief Cole has basically been muttering in his ear this whole time. He's like, yeah, you definitely should.
Yeah. Hold on. No, we should. Why should we?
I mean, we're helping.
Under
It's probably for a good for their
current
safety.
employment of the Emperor, you are in service of Indomitus, and it is your duty as Pathfinders to inform of the happenings.
I mean, we're not really pathfinders. We're just.
Oh no, you are Pathfinders.
Okay.
You were treated as Pathfinders. You are Pathfinders.
Well, we were just kind of thrown in here without any formal training, but.
I mean, you know the
That's how you
code
train a
too.
Pathfinder. There's no book.
I think I'll let Argus say it.
There's no.
You're gonna
book
let Argus say,
to-
all right, got it.
Dude, there's no book to being a Pathfinder. That's the training.
Okay, sure. All right. The overriding passcode that we found was you would inscribe it. Usually magically we did it, but I think you could say it as well. It was, by the wisdom of Maria, grant us passage. And Maria is one of the matriarchs, as far as we are aware.
That code managed to get us into the armory and a bunch of different rooms that we wouldn't have been able to get into otherwise.
Street Chief Thor thinking his hand to his ear. Okay, your code doesn't work.
Code does not work.
Yeah, so once we teleported near the city, there was a hefty amount of damage, and we couldn't get around the fortress the same way we were before.
True. Even when we found the fortress, it was in a bit of a damaged state with the core, which we assume is the power source of the fortress, being already damaged.
It was like
What's the score?
The core, okay. We are unsure about what the core is either, but we do know that it is a power source for the fortress. We know that it had enough energy to last it, I think, another 10 years or so. Another bit of information, there are other fortresses just like this one around the world. We marked their locations on a map, which Divan should have. It's hand-drawn, so it's not really that good, but it should
Street
do
Chief
well
Thor
enough.
immediately extend his hand. Let us see the map.
Okay, I actually take out the map.
I stopped Devon, but Devon, hold on, stop. That's important information. We'll talk about that later.
Are you sure that's how you want to do it?
I look, your generosity here has been great, but this is kind of bigger than just us being pathfinders in the Ede Imperium for whatever test.
Yes, it is. Let us see the map.
I actually give it the map then.
Devon.
What?
He takes the map, looks at it.
Yep. There should be 5 other locations, which that's it. But what we also do know is that this fortress is disconnected from the other ones. Typically, they would have a sort of pool of information or a pool of data between the fortresses that are shared. But this one has been disconnected for some reason. We are not sure if it has to do with the damage to the core or if it has something to do with its being left, abandoned for so long. But that is just the case. What more? Let's see here.
Those tools you're carrying. You see Chief Thor looking at the map and kind of like nodding, and then without looking at you, he's like, "Those tools you're carrying, you didn't have them where you left. What are those?"
Yeah, they were how to put it? Things that were just left behind in the fortress. We presume they're weaponry or tools that could be used in fighting, at least.
He looks at you, so you know how to use them?
Yeah, we do know. But that's only because of the, how to put it, that past experience thing that I mentioned earlier. That simulated experience.
I like puts the map to a side.
Instinctively, we understand how to use them because we've kind of lived through it, but not in that sense.
Frowns a little bit, like, so, and he looks at Lady Schrenger. So, let me get this straight. You went in, you got into a machine, thing, whatever, lived memories of the past that basically gave you knowledge of certain things.
Yep.
And that enabled you to control the fortress.
We're unsure if the knowledge is what allowed us to control the fortress, but everything in the fortress, including the furniture, the living furniture, the mimics, addressed us as its lords. So maybe it had some sort of information letting it know that its lords might come back at a certain time or so, but we're still unsure. But we can't make actual connections just yet. We don't know why it treated us the way that it did, but it just happened to do so, and we took advantage of that.
We're getting reports from the scouting parties. The entire place seems to be locked down. They're trying to find ways inside, and they can't. Even when the place you guys came out of said to be locked as well.
I see.
Yeah, when we teleported, the teleportation we just did, it got even more damaged and it went to a safeguard mode. And the AI went up.
Safeguard mode.
Yeah.
You're throwing a lot of words I don't get, kid. He looks at Lady Schrenger, is like, I am as well unfamiliar with the terms, Chief. Do you care elaborating a bit more about that safeguard mode?
So, this safeguard mode, we presume, is a state at which the fortress is in peak defense, where its only function is to preserve itself and lie in wait.
How do you know that?
How do we know that?
How do you in particular know that?
Ronan, would I know that? Through the drow memories?
Did you fail the wheel save? Make either an intelligence check or a knowledge arcana check. Or knowledge history check.
Okay, I'll do knowledge history. 18.
You just know.
Okay. I just know this. I presume because of the memories and from that past drow thing.
I mean, it was pretty safe to assume. right off the
Yeah.
bat. It turned off the teleportation features. We were only able to get to the courtyard and then leave the fortress. The weapons weren't even active when we first encountered the fortress. It wouldn't activate them.
Mainly due to the fact that the core was in a very worse for wear state, and so it would,
It was
how to put it?
damaged.
Yeah, it was too damaged to be able to use the weaponry that it had.
You were able to figure out the nature of this core.
No.
No, we never managed to interact with the core itself. We know that it's probably not safe to do so.
Going to the core, the AI suggested going to the core was dangerous, but the technology isn't unfamiliar. You know, your submersibles and our flying machines use they use energy similar to this power core. It's not unfamiliar technology, but it's beyond me.
Our current machina uses arcane energy, most of them, ceruleum engines in the case of most Magitech, but they're not able to travel in between dimensions. The closest you can get is certain airships from the Astana Republic and as well as the Everrail, which, but they don't travel in between dimensions. They travel to a space that is essentially the passageway between dimensions themselves. That is known as the dimensional membrane. The energy requirements to move a mass this big across dimensions is significantly larger than anything we can even fathom at this point. And so that is why we are asking about this core, because if it's unstable, well, let's just say that if it's anything to go by from, well, our current technology, it could mean that it could fail at any point. And if it's unstable, it could explode. And you see Chief Tornators are like, what now? Those doors you saw, you brought a bomb in front of my city.
No, it's not exactly like that.
And what is it then?
Well, the AI gave 10 years of operational limits before we teleported. After we teleported, give or take, maybe we still have a few years. Who knows?
I need a little bit more detail than just who knows. Do you have any other information regarding the core?
Any other information regarding the core? I mean, Ronan, can I try and do some kind of like
That's
knowledge history or something?
Yeah, sure.
That's a 17.
So you would know that the most likely nature of the score would be a modified catalyst. The catalyst was a tool widely used in the matriarchy. It was probably, it's like a, how can I put this? Imagine something as ubiquitous as a cell phone, but only employed for, you know, very important things like a supercomputer, right?
Catalyst.
So the catalysts were used as a weapon. The catalysts, modified catalysts, were used as weapons. Other versions of catalysts were used as basically power sources for entire cities. And you would assume that if this dimensional fortress had a power source, it would very much likely be a modified catalyst.
Okay. We know this core to be a modified catalyst, which is a power source that was used a lot back during the matriarch days, around 10,000 years ago or so.
See, the Chief Thor takes his hand to his ear. Inform the enlightened ones.
Oh, shit.
Enlightened ones.
Yes.
You have a catalyst.
Yep. It's a catalyst, a modified catalyst.
Do you know what a catalyst is?
Ronan, would Ethan know what a catalyst is from the Drow
I've
memories?
seen one.
I think we saw one in the where you found Argus.
Oh, okay, yeah. I guess I've seen a catalyst before.
Yeah, the catalysts were once items. Well, they were. One of the enlightened ones explained it to us earlier.
It was Adrian Finn, I think, who explained it to us.
I'll be damned. This world is small.
Yeah. 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 So yeah. I don't know. Oh, by the way, the Zill might be coming towards the fortress still. They were coming towards the fortress
Given
last week.
to the fortress's last coordinates, which were pretty far away from the city.
Yeah,
So he
but
kind of like lifts his fingers like, we'll get to the Zeal in time. I got people on the issue already.
Okay.
okay.
However, back to the fortress.
Oh wait, Argus stops. Wait, Argus excitedly turns to the spider. I talked to the spiders. They were like actually chattable. They weren't like aggressive towards us. It was.
And you see that the shrinker kind of like smiles, like, yes, we've already had preliminary conversations with the spiders.
Oh shit. Okay.
According to Grum's report, they were willing to open negotiations with us. And let's just say that around here, you don't get far without, let's just call it unlikely allies. And if these talks continue apace, we might add a new one to the list. However, I do appreciate your willingness to engage in diplomacy. It will most definitely be of use to Indomitus in that regard. And Chief Dog was like, yeah, I'll be damned, spiders didn't bite your head off.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised too, but I guess we had common enemies at the time.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Grom's report, and you see Grom coming from behind, shiny! And the guy like nods at Grom. Grom's report was very forthcoming in regards to your performance in that regard. He was effusive with praise. So
Argus just turns to Grum. Thank you, Grum. I appreciate that.
Shiny's good. Shiny's fine, big shiny. And he looks at Shiny's fine, big shiny. Lots of shinies inside. Weird shinies. Shiny shinies.
Yeah,
Lots of
true.
shinies. And kind of like looks at Grum like, yes, Grum, I'm looking forward to your report. And Chief was like, yes, Chief Shiny.
Shiny.
Grum has definitely made this trip a lot easier. More bearable.
Yeah. Kobolds are indispensable as a partner in this Underdark endeavor. They know this place inside and out. Their tribes have been living in here for generations, and luckily you got a native to be with you.
It's really appreciate it, yeah. Back to the planar dimensional fortress thing. So,
Yes.
You talked about deactivated weapon systems. Now that, and the fact that this thing, or whatever is controlling it, I still find it hard to wrap my head around it, but I'll get there eventually, don't worry. I don't have the luxury of, having implanted knowledge in my head, so apologies for my ignorance. In this regard, you said this thing had weapons. We haven't seen any. Care to elaborate?
Okay.
All the weapons are deactivated, and we haven't seen them either, but...
The artificial consciousness was the one that allowed us, that told us about the weaponry. It did tell us that a bunch of them have been stolen, some of them deactivated due to not being able to have enough energy to function. Also, some problems with the catalyst could be the issue there. But by and large, all the weapons are not in a state where they can be used. Let's see here.
Knowledge of the nature of the weapons.
The weapons?
I am
Okay.
worried about their destructive capability to just
So, Ronan, can I
looks
do
to
another
be
check?
a giant bomb in front of Indomitus, and
So,
that bomb happens to carry weapons.
at the time, the only two operational weapons when we first encountered the fortress were disintegrator cannons?
It was disintegrating, was it rays or was it?
My notes are all
What was
fucked
it?
from last session.
Yeah, dude, my fucking mind's not. Shit.
You said disintegration?
Yeah.
Disintegration.
Like the spell, I'm assuming we didn't push too many details on those. We just got Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing that comes to mind. I mean,
Like
disintegration does what disintegration does. It
I think
disintegrates.
I don't know. All the other weapons sounded way more dangerous than that, and possibly even bigger and more deadly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do elaborate.
Oh. Fuck. Oh shit!
Can
I
I
don't
do a
have
history check?
anything in my
Can I just
notes.
do a
dude.
history
I'm
check?
so angry.
Is that possible? History check to try and
In this
remember
case,
what the fuck.
In this case, make an intelligence check to remember what the AI told you.
Okay. That would be a 9.
Fuck.
You vaguely remember disintegration cannons, another cannon that sounded bigger, and a bunch of other cannons that also sounded bigger than the disintegration batteries, which is how it's called.
Right.
Okay.
Argus is
So-
gonna try and remember.
Here it is.
All right, roll intelligence.
There were
22.
Oh,
Not
shit,
20.
Okay, yeah, I'll let him do it. I'll let him do all the talking.
Okay, so you do remember that the dimensional fortress's main gun is called a particle cannon.
That's what it was. Thank you. Okay. Disintegration.
Disintegration battery. Okay, cool.
So the big scary gun, if I'm recalling correctly, was a particle cannon, and the disintegration cannons are batteries, disintegration batteries instead. So, but yeah,
I'll be damned.
yeah. I think
They
the
had
other
a
ones, like ions.
I even what's up? And he looks to, and he looks to Lady Shringer. What's a particle cannon? She looks at him like, Chief, I have no clue myself.
Now, do I do a history check with the drum members?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
All right. That's a 23.
So, a particle cannon. The particle cannon, from the memories that you had, and back from the days where you had those memories, the particle cannons were mostly experimental weaponry with untold destructive capabilities. A sufficiently powered particle cannon had the ability to essentially severely damage a substantial portion of territory. We're not just talking about being able to raise a city. We're not just talking about being able to raise an enemy fortification or an enemy vessel or an enemy group. We're talking about territorial damage. Like
Oh shit.
it could probably wipe out an island.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
Yeah. So this particle cannon, it's a very powerful weapon of mass destruction, able to wipe out like something the size of an island at least.
How big the island?
How big the island? Ronan, how big would the island? Like just a normal island, like or Ada Imperium Island.
Like bigger than a city.
Way more than a city for sure. That's
Yeah.
for sure. Like,
Not as big as the Era Imperium main archipelago, but more than big enough to wipe out its smaller islands.
okay, yeah. It's definitely more than enough to destroy the smaller islands of the, Ada Imperium, like the islands surrounding the archipelago of the Ada Imperium. But yeah,
You see Chief Thor like blinking like really quickly for like a second or two. Okay.
but thankfully that part of the planar fortress does not work. So
I mean, judging by the state of it, I'm relieved.
yeah, that thing was just here. Well, not here. It just appeared here. It's not a thing. It's not that.
Yeah, that was oh yeah, you guys, what happened to you guys? How did you guys get separated from us?
Mind control. Yep, that's another part that I forgot to mention.
Oh shit.
So part of the fortress's functions is this ability to create a fog that is able to control the minds of the people that are within it. 3 of us fell prey to it, those being me, Devon, and Damien here. It took us to a room where we then experienced the past life as a drow thing. Within that room, it's like a room full of chairs. You sit there, or you're forced to sit there, and you're connected to the fortress in some way, and you experience that past life.
So you said the fortress generated a mind-controlling mist.
Yep, mind controlling mist.
It seemed to be one of its defensive measures.
You're not using your respirators?
Hmm?
It was a
I'm assuming-
fog. It was.
It appeared too quickly for us to
It was.
be able to tell.
I don't know exactly what happened to those three, but
Yeah.
that night when the fortress appeared out of nowhere, destroyed our shelter, I was really fucking tired. But I heard somebody got really scared. Somebody was waking us multiple times. So I don't know what the fuck happened, but
Yeah.
Divan got scared. He ran away. He's the first one.
So, according to
Yeah,
Devon, he
Thor-
heard
You see,
voices.
you see Chief Thor immediately look at Divan. Care to elaborate?
I don't know. I just heard something and
You heard
Maybe-
something?
I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
even know. I don't even know why you got scared.
I mean, when I was out on my watch, I heard
Kind of like
voices.
raises your hand and basically shuts you up, Ethan.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
my
hey,
bad.
you heard something. What you heard?
I mean, I heard voices, and then like so the next thing
You heard voices.
yeah, and the next thing I noticed it was I started running away, and
Chief Thor immediately takes a hand to his yard. Attention to all units. We might be having ghosts inside this place. Be careful. Anything else?
uh,
Let's see. Is
And he looks at Divan. I'm talking
Ah.
about the ghosts.
yeah, well, yeah, the only thing is like I started to hear things, and then like my body's, I got scared, and then like I lost control of myself, so I started running away,
Just
and
ran away. You
Huh?
got scared. It's normal. Ghosts are scary. Don't worry. It happens to all of us at some point. You
Uh,
ran away, and then what?
and that's the last thing I remember. Just like I don't recall any more than that.
And then what?
I mean, I don't remember. Just like black. I mean, I black out.
Me and Nathan chased
Yeah.
after him. That's when he got mind control. That's why.
we were chasing after him, and I think we
then
who
we got
were
mind
out there for a bit longer. We managed to fall to the fog, and we were mind controlled. I managed to break free from it whilst we were inside of the inner part of the fortress.
Went
And
after your leader.
right, comrade. Yeah, my leader. Yes, I went after him.
All of you.
Just me and Damien. The others assumed that it was just
So you
some
split the
little
party.
scare.
So you split the party.
Argus wanted to sleep. I don't know.
oh, hold
Yeah,
on.
we-
To be clear, I just got out of having a knife in my neck for like 7 hours. Okay.
I'm
True.
gonna have to leave. I'm leaving Uthark's sheet in D&D general chat if anyone wants to take it.
Gotcha.
Okay. Let's see.
So you split the party.
Not out of choice, but yeah.
Not out of choice. Okay. Okay.
I mean, someone had to get him.
Yeah, we
Ah.
assumed that something bad would happen to him if we just left him to his own devices out there in the fog.
It's the Underdark,
Mhm.
and he's by himself. So.
That is indeed reasonable. I'm just surprised that not all of you went after him. Anyway,
Well, I tried waking up Argus, and but he didn't want to wake up. So.
Yeah, the knife in my neck for 7 hours.
extenuated.
I don't know about Lawrence and.
Anyway, I'm not here to argue about group dynamics. I'm
Alright,
just
alright,
want
cool.
to get I'm just here to get a picture of what
Either way,
happened. I
when
don't mean to pry on your private dealings as a group. You obviously found this, so I'm no one to judge of your methods. Not to mention you've been vouched by, well, a lot of people. So I'm not here to judge
Sure.
about that. Just thinking on a personal note, it's a bit of an unorthodox method when you're recommended to use gas masks, you don't use them, and you're recommended, well, I mean, I think pretty much all adventuring parties know this to never split. But anyway, you obviously have your path to success, so I'm not going to question that.
Yeah, we're pretty good.
thanks.
We're pretty
Yeah.
good.
Either way, I managed to break free from the mind control a little bit of when we were inside the inner part of the fortress, and it seemed that something was talking through Damien and Devon. It spoke to me, telling me to take a seat in one of the chairs in that one room where you experienced those past lives.
You see kind of like Lady Stringer kind of like leans forward. Voices speaking through other bodies, typical mind control. It checks out, yes. Continue.
Um, I wasn't able to remove anybody from the seats, and eventually I fell back into the mind control, and we sat there. And once that happened, we were given a message, or we were given a mission as our drow selves, and that was to be messengers for the matriarchs. What the matriarchs were trying to do back then, or at least what the drow were trying to do back then, was to make contact with the Duergar and make peace with them so that they can join the matriarchs for their efforts in conquest, I guess.
So
And
Elden, you were
Hmm?
you when you got on the live thing,
yes,
you were given a mission to deliver a message to, you say, Duergar.
yes, to the Duergar. There was a situation where they were at war around 10,000 years ago, and we were supposed to go over this no man's land, or go and meet them in no man's land, and at a specific fortress, and discuss terms to create peace between them, or at least to have the Duergar fall under the matriarchs. And then within this experience, we ended up fighting the Duergar, and giant airship came around and killed us. And that's where our lives ended as the Drow and the Duergar, I guess.
I am not going to question the validity of that statement,
Yeah,
even though
it is. It's
it does
very
it,
odd. I
it,
don't want to believe it either.
it does not match any historical record that we at least half of the period. Uh, the peace between the Drow and the Duergar was achieved through very violent means. There was no knowledge of, at least again in the limited archives we've been able to find, there was no note of any attempt to sue for peace. But anyway,
We fought them actually.
Yeah, we ended up fighting them.
I ended up fighting them anyways. It wasn't even
Yeah.
funny. We ended up fighting them and we got blown up by an airship.
Yeah, either
All of us.
way.
that
Within
indeed
that,
sounds very strange.
yeah, some of us here managed to recall things from that time better than than the rest of us. I have to like really try hard to remember shit from then, but Damien finds it a little easier, and so does Lawrence.
Well, any of you two care to elaborate in regards to the specifics of your memories?
Ronan, what do I remember?
You remember everything.
Lawrence pipes up.
Like specific.
Yeah, there was we were Durgar and we were out on a scouting mission in no man's land before we were attacked by Drow, and we were protecting this fortress called Drachna, and yeah, pretty much.
Right. No.
Yeah, so from what I remember, we have to deliver a message to stop the war.
Deliver a
message was-
to stop the war.
Yeah, the message
This is
specifically-
BPM. You were not delivering a message to stop the war.
Oh, wait, what?
We were delivering a message, but I don't know if it was to stop a war or if it was to like.
I remember. Okay, this is I wrote
You were
word
to
for word.
you were to deliver
Ronan.
orders to the other side of the front
Ronan,
so that you would make a
message-
pincer attack.
Ronan.
Those
Oh
are
yeah,
the
it was for the
orders you were
pincer
delivering.
attack. Yeah, right.
Ronan, let me speak. The message, word for word. This is from you. I just wrote it word for word. The other part of the front line will make a pincer maneuver, crushing the Duergar. It will be a surprise attack. We had to deliver this to the southern front, and then we have to move to the no man's land. If we get
Exactly.
captured, we must kill ourselves. High Command sent us this order. Our unit is led by General Farenseer.
Wait,
Yeah.
General Farenseer.
Yeah, this is word
We
for
presume
word.
it's
what
the
Ronan
same
said.
Farenseer who is alive in this day and age.
That's what I have on my note. That is literally word for word.
Yeah, you were not there to sue for peace or to deliver a peace
Yeah, we
message.
weren't doing for peace.
No, you are not the UN.
No. We were supposed to basically kill them in a surprise attack. That's That's the message.
Shit, I guess my memories are a bit foggy of that.
So yeah, that's the message. That's the.
But yes,
General Farens
this
here.
General Farenseer, we presume, might be the same Farenseer that's alive right now.
One in the one of the fingers.
Because at least back during that time, Project Nosferatu was still in its early stages.
Yeah, Farenseer is.
What?
I think she's one of the fingers. Sael Farenseer.
You hear a voice from your back. Sile Farenseer is the leader of the Astanan Hand of the Matriarch. As you turn around, you see another familiar face. As the hand is still kind of like leaning for like being kind of like heavily bandaged. You see an eye that is covered by bandages, as well as you see Adrian Finn and, well, his master, the little red folk figure. You're like walking into the tent. You send for us,
Wait.
Chief.
Oh shit! The enlightenments.
Yes, the maintenance.
Yeah. Hey.
As you see Adrian look at it, it's like, well, now that certainly have a lot of luck to finding catalyst, don't you?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it was the second
might
one?
be competitors.
Something like that? Jesus.
At this rate, I don't know.
You're gonna have to start paying us to find these catalysts.
Yeah.
Maybe we will.
Oh, I mean, if it's on the table.
Anyway, we're already contracted, so I don't think payment should be an issue. Kind of like looks at Chief Thor. Send for us, Chief? As if they were like, yeah. Apparently, and you see kind of like Adrian looking at Chief Thor, kind of like struggling to describe what the fuck is happening. And then it goes like, yes, the big fortress, we've seen it. Yeah, well, apparently that thing is dimensional hopping death machine.
Yep.
That is being powered by a modified catalyst. You see, Adrian kind of like breaks up with like, have you found the catalyst yet? No, we're looking for it. It's said to be unstable. You see, Adrian kind of like looking at Chief Thor, like, tell them to stop the search. We'll look for it ourselves. And they both enlightenments kind of like nod. And they immediately, you see them both kind of like warp. And it's like, and you see Chief Thor taking the hand of the sea, kind of like say, call off the search for the catalyst. The enlightened ones are on it. Yes, effective immediately. He looks at you. This is gonna be a shit ton of paperwork. Anyway, anything else?
Anything else? Let's
Anything
see.
else? Is there anything else I can recall? I don't know.
I mean, don't, I don't know. I mean, you know, there's the fortress, Zill, we got that. Face spiders we're already talking to. Apparently there's no purple worms.
No purple worms. Coincides with our report. Purple worm activity has fallen drastically in the
Yeah.
last couple months.
Spiders said the
Right.
Zill have hunted them all, so.
Talking about the Zill, and he looks at Lady Schwenger. Ah, great. My work is done here then. Good. And she puts away all her stuff. I will continue with my survey then. And you see Chief Thor nodding, and she leaves the tent. Okay, the Zill.
The Zill, yeah.
According to Glenn's report, you found them about a day and a bit away from here.
Yeah, and then we may have called for more to go to the location of the fortress, but
Previous location of the fortress.
yeah.
being the place where you guys
Originally found it, yeah, far away,
Yes.
days away.
mm,
It's
smart, convenient.
Yeah. We
It
could set
basically,
up an
it
ambush.
basically looks like notify the tactical team. We'll have a meeting soon.
A meeting, like to talk to the Zil. Oh no, you mean with the
no,
tactical team? My bad.
tactical team, yeah.
I'm sorry. After the spiders. I'm like, we should talk to everything now. I could talk to everything, but anyways.
Oh, definitely not one you want to talk to.
Yeah.
Any information you were able to uncover other than, well, the fact that you just, for some reason, were able to, well, call for them to a different place, which is in on itself.
Oh yeah, we did that through the fortress. The fortress had the Zil
the
marked down.
fortress.
Yeah, the fortress is the way we sent that message.
We
Yeah.
were more friendly to them, so we.
Yeah, they were allies to the Zil. It considered the Zil allies, and then it considered the city a surface dweller, which was we were able. Well, hold on, we already said the surface dwellers were enemies. We were able to change the Zil to enemies, and yeah. So the fortress thinks the Zil are enemies now. So if we can get those weapons back online, we could use the fortress. Well, it's pretty damaged now, but
I don't want to have the weapons online in case the fortress decides to deal with this.
shit, I forgot to. It did show us the location of the Zil fortress.
This is the Silver Fortress. Fuck, I forgot. Hold on. Do you remember the direction at least? Did it say east, west, or anything like that?
I think it said from the east.
Okay,
Take a
it's
look.
the east of its previous location.
Well, it would have been where the Zil were coming from. 10 kilometers east approaching. So it would have been in the direction of the east where the last known location of the fortress was 10 kilometers, about, give or take. Well, not 10 kilometers. It probably would have been a bit further back. But basically what happened was I was like, send a message to the Zil that we need support or backup or whatever. And it teleported to the ethereal plane. And then it sent the message. And then we teleported back. And then, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a bit complicated.
So the Zil, so the fortress does not have interplanar communications. Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, we were a little disappointed when we found that out because it only had 3 interplanar like jumps left, and like right now it has like, even if it could,
Like
well,
20 or something.
well, it had 20 before we did the interplanar jumps, then we had to
So,
do
like,
2
1,
interplanar
2.
jumps, and it had 10 afterwards.
Oh yeah, true.
The other one.
Yeah, 2 interplanar, or interplanar is on the same plane, and then planar jumps.
No. So it had 2 between different planes left after we've jumped plane. Oh no, actually it should have only 1 left now.
Yeah, I had 1 left.
We
We
jumped
have
to the ethereal plane and then jumped back. And we
Right.
almost jumped
Only
the negative
jump
energy
between planes once, or rather twice.
yeah.
twice, yeah.
Once to
so
the
it's
ethereal
only
plane
down to
and
1
one
now.
back.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
you
so
said
it
that when
has-
it teleported to the ethereal plane was when it sent the message.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Checks out.
Apparently, yeah, this thing doesn't have many limits on what planes it can go to, other than it cannot go to the plane of shadows because that didn't exist back in the day when it was made.
As long as it's capable, I mean, the fact that it can jump between planes, it's nothing new. What surprises me is they have the energy to move something that big
Yeah.
through planes with such an ease. I mean, current planar jumping is not done commonly because where the fuck would you want to jump into a different plane? They're full of, well, they're worse than this.
I don't think you guys aren't probably going to be able to repair this thing at all, right?
If you're asking me, no, but there's a lot we can learn from it.
Yeah, I figured.
Repairing it, that's an entirely different thing altogether. There's some concepts you've explained that we haven't even heard of yet.
Yeah.
In regards to this, I mean, I might as well let the cat out of the bag. I owe you that much. In regards to the, what do you call it? Artificial consciousness?
Yep.
In regards to that, there's been rumors going around for a while. That it's covert technology that with similar capabilities that the Astronaut Republic has been working on for the last decade at least.
Oh, okay. Like, who do you know? Is this something that I could go back and we could ask? Oh shit! What the fuck's?
Lady Claudia.
Just you go around asking people what they know about what is essentially classified Astronaut Republic information.
I understand that, but I just need to know which parties are involved with that. So that way we know. But if you don't know, it's fine.
Again, like the details to me are a bit hazy.
Would
in
it be
that
possible for
regard.
us to talk to the Emperor again?
I'm guessing you will.
All right.
No one knows what the Emperor, agenda is. He is the Emperor. However, he's been notified of the find, and he is being eagerly informed.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Well,
So in
hopefully
that regard, in that regard, the Emperor will not be out of the loop.
got it. Cool.
Also, he kind of like takes his hand to his ear. They couldn't get any better. Yeah, better. Yes, I'm on my way. I'm not of the mind of leaving you alone. Come with me.
All right.
All right.
Anyway, come with me. And he basically is like, and he basically steps outside, Carrie's like, at this point you see him, he is, in some ways, you see that there is excitement in his eyes, but at the same time, you make a sense motive check.
He's regretting the paperwork, is what I presume.
Oof.
Oh, fine. Okay.
That is a 6.
I get.
Oh, I got 24.
Oh my god. D20 plus 3. I get 22. Damn. All right.
So, at this point, you basically see in him the body language of someone that has had way too much thrown on their plate on a very short period of time. And it's like mumbling and like, these are the days. And he kind of like takes his giant fucking mace, sheaths it, takes his tower shield, and it's like, send for the transport. As he looks up into the wall, and as you see that above the wall comes basically one of these transports that you were kind of like taken into the city when you came in through the lift, as it just lands in front of you. Let's go. I'm guessing our guests would like to have a meeting with you. Come on. Kind of like hop onto the transport.
Shit.
Come on, it's not gonna. Come on, we ain't got all day.
I will.
Is this one of the throw yuppie transports?
Yeah. It's the same transport, I believe.
Yeah, I'm going in.
Okay. You got bags, right?
You have bags?
Fucking hell.
Anyway, you get into the transport. The transport kind of like gates close, takes off,
Oh, bags?
and you kind of like go back into. Give me a second.
Finally.
Oh, God.
Back to the city of Andromedus, not the surface. The surface. What do you mean the surface?
Oh,
That is
man,
allowed!
I missed the surface.
So, you begin to fly over the giant wall of Andromedus and the, at this point, refreshing sight of civilization, familiar civilization. It's refreshing. You've been away for a day, but a lot has happened in a day. And so you're flying over the city. It's like, the nature of your discovery, being matriarchy involved, well, anything in the Underdark is really matriarchy involved, basically activated a whole chain of notifications that we needed to essentially keep on standby. You already witnessed the Enlightened Ones.
Yep.
Now you're about to witness the other part of it.
The other part?
And he looks at and basically he takes his ear. Is the Astrael ready to dock? Okay. And you see basically you're being taken to at this point will be the western side of Indomitus, the northwestern side. It is a large, what looks to be is a large section filled with like warehouses and what looks to be one giant fucking hangar. Like it's humongous. It's being lit from all sides. And the kind of like the tiny little transport vessel, it's not tiny, but compared to the thing you see before you literally materialize out of nowhere, it's tiny. This ginormous airship literally just materializes out of nowhere above, directly hovering above this giant hangar. It is a vessel like you've never seen before. It is an airship, you assume, because it's flying, but its shape, its structure, its everything. It is far advanced, more advanced than anything you've seen pretty much ever. However, to all of you who actually succeeded the will save, the first thing that it reminds you in terms of structure, vaguely, but it does, is the airship that you saw bombarding you when you were living the memories of the Duergar and the Drow as you all died. The structure, the level of just advanced appearance, it reminds you of that. As you kind of like, all of you can remember, you're taking a bit aback by that. You're like, whoa, what the fuck?
Where the
like
fuck?
In your mind, you're like, what the? That's familiar. And so the transport kind of like goes down, kind of like lands. You know, the gate opens. And you're kind of like now, not immediately beneath, but you look like you're basically beneath this ginormous airship. You've seen battleclads. I mean, you've been to Ravenspurge, the headquarters of the Astanan Republic Air Fleet. You've never seen anything this size. It is far beyond anything you've ever seen that basically is capable of essentially being in the air, being up in the air. It is huge. As you're kind of like looking at it, kind of like a big dumbstruck. It's like, you see Chief Thornton turning towards you and go like, "I'm on, shake it off."
This is matriarchy stuff?
No. Luckily.
Really?
That, my friends, you've never seen one, huh? Well, that thing is an outer merchant frigate.
Oh shit.
Kind of like smiles. That thing, believe it or not, the outer merchants consider it the equivalent of a frigate. That means they have bigger than those. I've never seen the big ones. I've never seen the big ones, but if that is what they consider to be a frigate, I don't want to see the big ones.
Why do they need bigger ones? What is out there?
I mean, for as far as we know, the outer merchants were instrumental in, well, fighting the matriarchy. And judging by your descriptions and, well, the thing you just parked in front of my city, they needed these and bigger to take them down.
To be clear, wait, so we were...
So
Hold
we were
on.
attacked by another merchant?
Damien, do you remember? You remember what happened? Does this look familiar?
Does it? From the memory?
It does. From the perspective of your memory, it was far away, so the size can be deceiving, but in terms of the technological advancement and the shape, it is very familiar.
Oh
So
shit!
looks like we probably could have gotten blown up by an outer merchant.
I don't think so.
It's
Changes a
possible.
lot.
It looks the same. Almost. It's very similar.
Yes,
I-
but the outer merchants, or at least the merchants, I believe, were related to the matriarchs back. I think they were even made by them.
No.
You don't, I mean, the memories of you from that time, you don't even know the existence of the outer merchants.
Really? Because I remember the dragon, the emperor, told us that the merchants or something, and him as a dragon or the astral dragon, were made by the matriarchs or something like that.
Well, the dragon was made by the matriarchs, not the merchants. The merchants were separate.
Wait, Ronan, can I do an intelligence check to try to remember what the dragon said?
Yeah, sure.
So I could have sworn it's a 10.
So, you don't exactly remember verbatim the words of the emperor. But due to its recency, or their recency, you do remember him speaking of outer merchants as basically being akin in some sort.
Akin. Oh, wait,
The
like akin to
emperor
him?
and the outer merchant and the emperor being akin to each other.
Okay.
In some
Oh
way.
yeah, he called them brothers or like siblings or something like that.
No, he didn't call them siblings. You don't remember
Oh.
him calling them siblings. But
Oh, okay.
you do remember that the emperor mentioned something about sharing a certain kinship with the outer merchants.
Okay.
That's all you remember.
He's not a normal dragon.
Yeah, he's not a normal dragon. I'm aware of that.
So at this point, you're kind of looking at the ship. You're kind of like talking to each other. It's like, all right, here it comes. And you basically see as basically several kind of like tiny little distortions in space happen in the middle of the hangar. Probably a dozen. Not very dissimilar from the distortion in space you just saw when Adrian and his master kind of like blinked out of existence. As you see a dozen of these, they're like boxes. Make a perception check.
Okay. Internet goes
15.
20.
perception.
20.
Oh, 26.
So, these kind of like tiny little boxes you see deposited in the middle of this giant open hangar. They are essentially square boxes. The thing that kind of like calls out to you for the first time is the fact that the material these boxes are made out of, it's a bit different. You've, in all your experience and knowledge in alloys and things you've seen, you've never seen something like this. It is a very distinct, brassy in a way hue that they emit. But as soon as you begin to kind of like look at them like, what the fuck is that? The boxes immediately animate, and you see that the box begins to decompose itself.
Oh.
And they essentially, in front of your eyes, go from boxes, and they begin to pull themselves apart, almost like a Lego or like a Rubik's Cube that is being torn asunder, the independent squares forming what is essentially a humanoid figure about 6 feet tall that resembles this sort of like armored construct. As they deploy, and they all kind of like line up very, very martially, like in a very martial way. They line up, and they basically kind of like look around. They basically lock on to you. You see their eyes kind of like veer towards you. Chief Thor kind of like steps up like a couple of meters, kind of like in front of you, kind of like nods, and he kind of like takes his hand to his ear. Bring him out. And you see that from one of the warehouses that is closest to the to this giant open hangar, you see being carted off the warehouse several conventional boxes of different shapes and sizes. Some of them are, cube shaped. Some of them are more rectangular shape, as they are carted off by different, members or inhabitants of Indomitus, not, constructs. As this is happening, however, you see that another one of these kind of like blinks in space happens, and immediately as the boxes are being carted out and being left in the middle of the runway, the constructs immediately turns towards them and they move towards the boxes. You see some constructs that pick one box and they move back to the middle of the runway where they just blink out of existence again, like distort space, blink out of existence. Another box shows up, makes itself into a construct, walks to more of the boxes, and this kind of like loading and unloading process happens. You do see this kind of like distortion in space again happens as a different looking animated suit of armor appears in front of you, closer to where Chief Thor is. And this suit of armor kind of like walks forward, and this one is 10 or probably 15 feet tall. It is big. It is large. And you see that the armor itself is very stylized. It's not functional or, more like to the point like the constructs. This one is much more animated. Its movements more fluid. Its demeanor almost humanoid-like. As you see that the armor, inside the armor, you see that essentially this spark of what looks to be some sort of like energy that is flowing inside this thing. You've never seen anything like it in your life before. As it approaches Chief Thor, and like nods, it turns towards you. Well, Mate Archer, one of the envoys of the Witness.
Oh, hi, Archer?
You see this booming voice, female in tone, but at the same time, and it is this weird cacophony of different tones and types of voices, mostly female. They look at you. Yes, that would be my common name, Archer.
Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, likewise. It looks at Chief Thor. So, these are the adventurers that brought the dimensional fortress to your doorstep. He looks up. Yep. And he looks at you. Interesting. He immediately locks, she immediately locks onto Ethan. So you were the witness excised.
The one that was excised? Yeah, that was me.
She kind of like extends her hand. It is big. Again, she is 10 to 15 feet tall. Her hand is bigger than your head.
Fucking.
Oh shit!
But is she reaching it out for a handshake or something? Like I'd only be able to shake a finger, I think.
She's reaching it out for a handshake.
Okay, I reach out my hand for a handshake.
And she kind of like, for like a moment, she's kind of like, she sees your tiny little hand compared to hers, like, oh, apologies, force of habit. And immediately her entire body shifts into essentially your height in front of you. Her entire body kind of like lowers in height. And now she's kind of like, shakes your hand. Archer, my pleasure. And she kind of like extend her hands to like each and every one of you.
Yeah, I shake the hand too.
She kind of like looks at all of you being a bit uncomfortable. Apologies. And she kind of like takes her hand back. I thought it was a a custom in your world to shake hands with people you meet for the first time. Am
We don't have a problem with that, or at least I don't.
Oh, perhaps it's my voice. 1 second, and her voice transforms into normal common voice.
Uh,
Is this less disturbing?
Yeah, but you didn't have to, but it's cool.
I appreciate it.
Either way,
I'm-
it's nice to meet you, Archer.
Pleasure is all mine.
What are you exactly?
I would be the witness's envoy.
The witness's
Ah.
envoy. Okay. What does that mean?
Let's see.
Well,
Wait. Are you an outer merchant?
oftentimes confused this one, but no, I am not exactly an outer merchant. The witness would be an outer merchant. I am merely their envoy.
Oh, okay. Were you created by the witness?
Oh. My kind, we've been working with the outer merchants for a long, long time.
Your kind.
Let's see. Okay.
You're just like a. What is your kind? What is? Like your species or something? Or I'm not really sure what the correct term would be here.
Species.
God. Oh dear God.
Species. So this
TPK?
one, well, no, not typically. I'm not gonna do it.
We just offended it.
he was waiting it. He was waiting it like, should I or should I do it?
That was the one trigger. The one trigger.
TPK. God.
Give me a second. Give me a second. Hey, so let because it's like you're now asking for like particular species. I don't want to fuck you over. Give me a second.
Gotcha.
Surprise round. There you go. We all won.
Yeah. Shit, it was an outer merchant frigate that bombarded us.
Most likely it was a merchant that killed us all.
That's so weird. Why did an outer merchant frigate bombard us?
The witness killed us all.
Witness my greatness.
Just don't attack the witness and it won't kill us all, okay?
Witness me.
Witness me. I will witness the destruction.
Wait, dude. Witness my great undertaking.
Witness my great undertaking.
I thought you were gonna say something Albedo was gonna say.
Nah, I don't know much about Albedo's voice lines. Albedo's just saucy, that's all I know about him.
So,
Yeah.
make a knowledge arcana knowledge planes check.
Okay, wait.
I'll
this is
do
for Arcus?
Arcana.
Yes, I just only. He was asking.
Arcana 20.
Okay, so
Nice.
in your magical studies, you've read of mystical creatures that are said to basically inhabit the more positive side of the planar spectrum, known as archons.
Oh, okay.
The particular visage of this being of Archer leads you to believe that this is specifically one specific type or subtype of Archon that is described as a shield Archon.
Oh, okay, cool.
Okay.
You would know these beings to be essentially good, lawful outsiders. They harbor no ill intent towards, regular people. However, they're also basically known as the soldiers of heaven.
Okay. Oh, shit. Yeah.
As a general rule of thumb, you don't fuck with something called the soldiers of heaven.
Yeah. Holy fuck. Okay.
So that is
Yeah,
basically
so
You do know that the Archons in particular have a long-standing rivalry with another set of outsiders known as the Azura,
Okay.
Okay.
which in this
Huh.
case would be equivalent in a sense, but opposite at the same time, which would be evil outsiders.
Oh, so
Okay.
basically angels and demons in a way.
No, angels and demons are a thing.
No. But
Yeah,
like,
angels and demons
No,
are
no,
a
no.
thing.
But like, I know that. But like, similar.
This is an Archon. It's not similar either. Like Archons and Azuras are different than angels and demons. Very different.
Okay.
So you would know that to be an Archon. And when you ask the species, you see she's kind of confused a little bit. Species.
Oh, you're
Apologies.
not like. No, you're fine. I just realized. It just hit me like a brick. You're not really. You're an Archon.
Yes, my kind. Yes, name I haven't heard in a while. Yes, we are commonly denominated as as archons. But please do not take it as a sign of intimidation.
Right. Yeah.
It is merely a name, a
Of course.
designation.
Well, you've been more interesting than intimidating so far. This has all been more interesting than intimidating.
Glad to see my training has come to fruition. Suppressing some of my more innate capabilities can be a bit difficult.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Oh.
Well, yeah. So, well, what are we meeting you for?
Yes, Chief. The Chief informed me of the fact that you uncovered a dimensional fortress.
Yes.
hmm According to the preliminary reports, the fortress is being assessed as we speak. However, you did mention something about an artificial consciousness inhabiting and location of other fortresses.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Devon, you can. I guess we've already shown the map. Might as well show
Yeah.
you the map too. Yeah.
Yep.
She kind of like takes a look. She kind of like takes a look at the map. She takes a look at the map for a second and then hands it back to you. Thank you.
Oh, that was
Oh,
quick.
thank you. Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much. Yeah. There's an artificial conscience in it. We've chatted with it, talked with it. It was pretty informative.
Informative.
Yeah.
Quite informative.
Hmm.
Though it did mistake us for other people, which is why it was so open.
Yeah. I think it would have probably not have. Yeah. It thought we were its lords.
Interesting. And she kind of like turns to Chief Thor. She looks at you. Apologies for basically wasting time out of your, I'm assuming, very busy day. Chief Thor will now proceed to do my assessment of the fortress. Chief Thor will like nod. Thank you. Most kind. I will make sure, and she looks at all of you. I'll make sure to let the witness know of your forthcoming cooperation. I extend my thanks on behalf of the outer merchants. However, the pressing nature of this significant discovery impedes me from staying a bit longer. So apologies if my diplomacy is not as extensive as it should be. But I do have more pressing matters to attend to.
Of course. No problem. It was a pleasure meeting you, Archer. Thanks.
My pleasure. And she kind of looks at Chief Thornton and like nods and blinks out of existence. And as she blinks out of existence, the giant fucking vessel also blinks out as the last constructs carrying boxes into it also kind of like teleport or basically warp out of your sight.
Oh shit! They took the frigate.
Chief Thor is like, yeah, I mean, having it up there is it's a bit too much, you know.
Yeah, a lot of people assessing the fortress. So this is like, have you guys ever found the fortress before, or is this like?
Again, I might as well tell you guys. No, this is a one of its kind discovery. We
Oh.
have, for the longest time, posited the existence, and there has been rumors of certain apparitions and strange seismic activity within the area you were in for the longest time, but we've never been able to assess. Our speculations has been that there is some sort of structure or thing, vehicle, something that had been shifting in and out, but we've never been able to assess its true nature up until now. So yes, this is indeed a very unique discovery. I don't know, but for what the travails through the Underdark have shown you, it's in ruins pretty much. And encountering something this intact is indeed a unique, very unique opportunity for many interested parties.
Who else are you going to? I'm guessing the information about the other darkened fortress is staying in the Edda Imperium, our dimensional fortress.
There are other allies we are obliged to report of the finding, but the details of said find are the Emperor's discretion and his alone to share.
Right. Okay.
We merely fulfill our obligations to allies with whom we have long-standing treaties. Outer merchants, the enlightened ones.
Okay. All right.
Oh, all right. What about the Edda Imperium?
What do you mean, the Edda Imperium?
They are the Edda Imperium.
Not the Edda Imperium, the Astenan Republic.
I'm sure that since you founded, the Emperor, of course, will share the information to the parties in the Aston Republic that made possible this reunion.
Yeah. That seems...
Oh, don't worry. You won't have to, lie to your employer.
Okay,
I've been
that's...
told she can be a bit intimidating.
You find her intimidating?
At times.
I've had dealings with the St. Marian family in the past. If there's something they are, is intimidating.
Okay,
You don't become that powerful and that rich out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, we've definitely had some dealings that could be intimidating in the past. So, like, what's the plan now? Are the Archons going to help us with the Zill, or is that like us?
Oh, no. The Zill is our thing to deal with.
Well, okay, cool. That's
The merchants have a strict policy of non-intervention. I've been told that one of the merchants helped one of you, so, Archer mentioned it, so...
Yeah.
That is extremely unique.
Huh.
Just one unique thing after another. Jesus.
I cannot stress just how unique that is.
Okay.
Merchants are oftentimes very hands-offish. They offer deals that are pretty much impossible to reject in terms of support, but other than that, they don't interact directly with people. They mostly use their envoys, like Archer,
Right.
to, do a bunch of things. They provide equipment support to us, like, the transport you've been flying in wouldn't be able to be powered up if it weren't for the outer merchants. So, a lot of the technological support we receive from the outer merchants is invaluable to the sustained operation of Indomitus. And in exchange for that, we provide them certain goods, rare ores, and things we mine and find in Indomitus. It's a fair deal, if you ask me.
All right. They seemed really interested in... Well, Archer seemed really interested in the consciousness.
Yes. To be perfectly honest, you're asking the wrong man.
Oh, okay.
The wrong Minotaur.
Fair enough.
That is a question more fit for someone higher up the food chain than I. I'm guessing their interest in the artificial consciousness is due to the fact that, it's a consciousness that is artificial.
Right. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
But again, this is my suppositions. To be perfectly honest, I just try to keep things running smoothly around here, and poking my nose, as big as it is, in places that it doesn't belong is not a good recipe, if you ask me.
Yeah. That definitely. We've definitely poked our noses in some places. We're probably better off not. But
I mean, that's
Hey,
an understatement. So.
to each their own path.
yeah.
I respect that, you know. To each their own.
Yeah. I was really hoping we'd go find the purple worm, but a little
Find the
disappointed.
purple worm. What are you having
Yeah.
a suicide thought now?
Not a suicide. Look, we fought a lot of things. I think putting a purple worm on the list would have been a good story, to say the least.
I don't know. I don't think it compares to the other stories.
It's not
Purple
that I
worm's the
go.
purple worm.
It's not that I go around looking to fight purple worms just for the story of it. But then again, I'm not you guys. But I'm guessing finding a dimensional hopping, island destroying, giant fortress of doom beats out a purple worm.
You make a good point. I think it does too.
However, if you are indeed interested in keeping up the fight and getting your hands a little bit more dirty, we can definitely talk about that. You know, if you want to get back to the
Did you say fight?
yeah. I mean, not a purple worm, the Zill.
Oh, Zill.
Oh yeah, 100%. Let's go kill those motherfuckers for sure. But
You've definitely.
I side with Argus. I want to fight.
All right, that's the spirit then.
I side with Argus.
I'm guessing you would be interested in it since, well, you had your encounter with them, and guessing that
Maybe.
was a bit painful.
yeah, and we still have a mission to complete, So
I mean, in my book, the mission you were assigned, and he looks at the giant fucking the direction of the wall, which is where the giant fucking fortress is. By all accounts, your mission is more than fulfilled. Your mission was to locate face spiders. You ended up beginning to broker a deal with them, and on top of that, you found a giant death fortress of doom with a giant island destroying whatnot that has an artificial aboleth that talks to people. Yeah, pretty much in my book, the mission is my assessment is you good in my book. That's what I want to say. But if you want to keep it up, by all means, follow me.
What about you guys? You guys
I'm down. I don't know about you.
you guys want to go fight the Zill or?
Fight the Zill.
I mean,
If
I'm
there is
kinda
a time
happy.
limit, is there like a time limit? I want to have 3 days to drink some potions though.
What?
Turns around you 3 days to drink some potions. I'm
Uh,
sorry to tell you, time is not on our side. So if you're gonna make a decision, you better make it now.
Fuck it.
I think I
Kind
wanna.
of put his hand to his ear. Now we're having a tactical meeting, and then we're getting deployed. So
I'm
make a
half,
decision. Make a
I'm
decision now.
I'm half. I could go either
I
way.
vote go to the surface and tell the Emperor that we finished his mission.
That's being taken care of. You don't have to go and tell anybody.
Okay.
I mean, I have to side. I know I just said let's go kill those motherfuckers, but I have to side with Ethan. I want to get back to the Aston Republic.
You guys
Wanna
want to
go
go
to this-
back?
If you want to go to the surface, then
Hey, don't get me wrong. The Underdark is nice and all. It's a good place. I just don't want to stay here.
Don't bullshit me. I am way too old for that shit. Cut it out.
I'm fine with that too. though.
Cut it out.
Yeah, but I
cut
don't
it
even get
out.
a bluff check. No bluff check.
Again, you're good in my book, but don't. Don't.
All right. Hey, you caught me, man. You caught me.
The Underdark is nice. That doesn't need any bluff check. What the fuck? It's like you're telling to a guy that has been living down here for God knows how long that this is a nice place.
How old is Chief Thor?
You don't know?
Chief Thor, how old are you?
Me? Why do you care about my age all of a sudden? You want to marry me?
No. I was just
Yeah.
curious.
I'm old enough to know when your friend is bullshitting me.
Oh.
That's how old I am.
Devon, do you want to go back to the surface, or what do
Ah,
you want?
shit, whatever. Yeah, sure. Let's go to the
Alright,
surface.
well, if we're going back to the surface.
I'm done with this place already. So I almost died. I got captured. I got mind control. Like I don't know. It's like,
Maybe we'll come back in the
Okay.
future.
Yeah, you won't.
Oh,
Kind of like smiles, just like, on your own choice, you won't. Trust me. Or rather, I know you won't.
Yeah. Hey, you can't be so sure. I told you.
I appreciate the pleasantries. I do. Not needed. We all know what we're here for.
we'll just come back to visit you, Chief. I mean,
Yeah, right.
I might come back and visit. A lot of people
Yeah.
don't want to fight, and I like to
Maybe
fight
we'll-
too.
yeah.
I'm sure that wherever you go, there'll be plenty of things to fight. Because, I mean, you've just been here for a day. Look what you did.
Wait, it's only been a day? I thought it was,
Yes.
like 3 days.
no, it was like probably more like a 2. But
Well, we had our first few days of traveling.
You basically spent a day traveling. You basically encounter the Zeal on the second day. You basically stopped where you were to treat Argus on the second day. And the third day has been the fortress and all of this.
Oh shit, we did all that in less than a week? Holy shit.
Fast workers, we're efficient.
Yeah.
we,
Overachievers
we,
too. Goddamn.
we literally, I just.
Well, and Chief looks at you. Well, I kind of have a meeting to attend to. I'm sure
Oh.
you know your way back to the.
Yeah. Where do we have all this like anti-venom and potions of
Oh, yeah.
true sight we haven't used?
Yeah,
we
never
need to give them back. We need to give them
Oh
back to the place.
yes, you need to give them back as well.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
haven't
we-
used those. You need to give them back, indeed.
What about
And he
the
looks
cat?
he looks at your weapons.
We're not giving.
Man, I know. I wouldn't give them up myself. I know. Can I
Hey.
see that? And he kind of like points at the EMP rifle.
Of course, yeah.
This is not like as chief. It's just let's call it professional curiosity.
Oh, of course. I mean,
He like takes the EMP rifle. It's like, I'll be damned. See him smelling it? This
What?
smells
Smelling it.
quality.
Yeah.
Wait, what does it smell like?
Quality. As he looks at
Quality?
it, you see him carrying it like a weird way, as is someone that is not proficient. You kind of like looking at it.
Quality.
What does he do?
Oh, I believe was it turns off or makes constructs non-functional.
the MP rifle. I don't remember exactly, but I mean, something to do with constructs.
It's like a gun. You shoot it, but
Yeah.
it's cooler.
No, it's a gun. I can see it. But,
Yeah, but it's cooler.
but it doesn't look like a normal gun. That's why I'm asking what it does.
It's a gun, but it's cooler. That's yeah.
I know it looks cooler. I'm just asking what it does, not what it looks like.
There it is.
Oh, I don't know. I never shot
Here,
it.
Chief Thorum, you see that little trigger right there? I'll let you shoot it once, just because it's been a great time down here. It's been an exciting time, I guess.
I'd rather not shoot this thing.
All right.
I
Yeah,
am
so-
not qualified. I wouldn't want to make a mess of myself. I got a reputation to uphold. Anyway, thank you. Thank you for letting me look at it.
Before we go, there is the place we got these. There looked like there was things in there to create more ammo or maybe even more weapons like these. If you could maybe get it up and running again, I don't know, but
Yeah, I'm assuming that place has an armory. I mean, if it has an island-destroying cannon, it's got to have an armory.
yeah.
Yep.
So hey, if you get it up and running, you might be able to get one of your own. Just saying.
Who knows? I mean, I've never been the best shooter myself. I rely, and he kind of like points to his hip, on good old faithful.
Oh yeah.
They
Yeah.
have really big swords there too. It's not just guns. The no blade.
And he kind of
Actually,
like,
yeah.
he looks at your place like, what's that?
It's called a null blade.
Damon, you can show him.
Chicken.
Oh yeah, I'm showing him. I am showing him.
Oh, okay.
Like looks at it and it's like, this thing looks. Wait a minute, and he kind of like, may I?
Sure.
Kind of like takes it. What does this thing? And he pushes, and you see the entire blade.
Oh shit, he used one of the charges?
He kind of like light up. It goes like, ho 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 ho.
Yeah, you swing at things.
He kind of like swings it, and you see that he is very proficient with a blade. And he kind of like powers it down, gives it to
Oh
you.
shit,
He used
I gotta mark that down. He used one of the charges.
He used one of the charges. Hands it back to you. Luckily, not my size. Very interesting. Again, it's a bastard sword that in the hands of a 7 feet tall minotaur looks like a fucking toothpick.
I dual wield it. Or not dual wield it. I use 2 hands with this one, not single hand.
But you decide to.
It's like, fine blade. The balance is perfect.
Yes.
Anyway, but and he kind of like, I got my cool shit too. And he kind of like pulls the shield out of his back and he kind of like puts it on the ground. And you see immediately the shield deployed. It is a 10 by, it is basically a 15 by 10 foot, essentially wall that even has like the kind of like the markings or like the fortifications where you can essentially clamper on it and basically lean down to aim something. As he deploys it on the ground, but wait, and he pulls his morning star, and as he's pulling it, he basically says, "You might know a morning star, but this is an evening star." As he kind of like pulls it out, automatically the handle and the spike ball basically detach from each other, and you see a chain immediately pull out as basically this huge ball kind of like whips around, and in the same motion, it comes back into the handle. Basically, the chain kind of like going inside and transforming into just a regular mace.
Holy shit.
And also, I got my boys. And he snaps his fingers. The 3 dogs show up.
Oh, the 3 dogs.
Have you ever seen a blink dog?
Never.
No.
Ever.
These are blink dogs.
Blink dog?
It's okay, you can pet them, they won't bite.
I'm gonna
Ethan goes to, he pets one of them.
Yeah,
I
I'm
told
gonna
them
pet
not
it
to.
too.
I told them not to.
Animal handling?
They stand there. You don't need animal handling. I mean, you got a beastmaster in front of you that stole their dogs not to bite you. You don't need animal handling.
Oh, beast? Oh, that's what he is. Beastmaster.
And you kind of like pat him on the back. Yeah, he's a beastmaster hunter.
Oh.
Okay.
You kind of like pat the dogs. They're big dogs. They're like about the 4-legged. They're about 4 feet tall.
Jesus.
Big
Oh, they're like-
fucking blink dogs.
Bro, that's like literally like a human size, fucking like a human child size dog.
They're like those. They're like those wolfhounds. Those like German wolfhounds.
They are basically a like the closest thing they would look like is
Great
a
Dane?
mastiff, like a Great Dane.
Oh, okay.
It's a mastiff, like a Great Dane. But these ones, they have like gray. They're like gray. They have like a gray kind of like hair. But they also have like what looks to be this weirdly floating, almost second mane that is like weirdly kind of like floating above their regular kind of like hair. And this one is like blue, and it's kind of like it's this light pale blue that slightly glows. The same with the dog's eyes. And he looks at him and is like, yeah, natives of the Underdark.
Oh shit.
These boys are good. These boys are good.
Argus reaches out as Chris's hand to pet one. Chris, ask how it's doing.
Basically, you kind of like whip Chris's hand. The dog is still, doesn't move. You touch the dog,
Oh.
and it's like, you see Chris in your head going like, he's fine. He's
Okay.
fine. It's a dog. It's fine.
Tell him he's a good boy.
You see the you see the dog kind of like wag the tail twice.
Yes.
Oh, that is.
Kind of like you hear Chris say like, yes, he knows he's a good boy, very
Oh.
good boy.
All right.
Good.
They're beautiful.
Thank you. Black dogs usually don't interact with people. Apologies for the nerding out, but you know I don't oftentimes get to show my dogs to people.
That's all
They're
right.
sort of a passion. They're sort of a passion of mine, you know.
Yeah.
My entire clan, we basically specialize in using animals. It might sound weird because we kind of look like animals too, but we specialized in using animals and establishing relationships with them. When I came down here, as young as I was back then, probably 100 years ago.
100.
Yeah, I was part of the first contingent.
Oh, so
You
that's
still wanna-
you're at least 100 years old then.
Yes, I am at least 100 years old.
Damn.
I thought,
So the dogs actually, I found this one. Her name is Kira. She was a stray. She strayed from her pack and she was wounded. She was actually ambushed by some face spiders. You see, black dogs and face spiders don't get along at all. They essentially hunt each other.
Oh, okay.
So Kira over here, she's the alpha, by the way. She was a stray, and essentially I nursed her back to health, and well, we kind of like established contact with her pack, and she decided to stay with me. And so, essentially, my relationship with the pack is whenever they have cubs, they usually hand me over the runs of their litters for me to take care of. And so that one over there, Snorkel, and this one over here, that'll be Sparks. These-
Wait, that's my dog's name.
wait, what was your dog's name?
My dog's name is Sparks.
Sparks.
so basically, Snorkel and Sparks are a runt of their litters, and well, I've just raised them, trained them myself, and well, they're part of my crew now. We're a team.
They're awesome.
Oh yeah, they are.
Jesus.
They are. They saved my butt that one time I got eaten by a goddamn purple worm.
Oh, okay.
Wait.
Oh.
You've been eaten by a purple worm?
Yeah, and it's not
Yeah, you
nice.
told us about that before.
Wait, I don't remember this.
Dang.
It's not nice. However, these good boys, actually, what they did is they helped me out. You see, they tore at the bug's stomach so hard the bug couldn't actually bury itself because its stomach was wide open. It was too painful, and that allowed me to escape.
Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
God damn.
I got plenty of other tales, gentlemen. However, sadly, I have to go. Would have loved to chat a little bit more, but as you can see, my day is busier than usual.
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Yeah, good luck
Kinda
with the Zill.
Takes a long sigh. At least I get to crush some heads.
That's true.
I'll get to crush some heads, and you see him kind of like cracking his knuckles, and it's a loud fucking crack. Like the bones of a minotaur are big, so he's like. At least I'll get to crack. At least I'll get to crack some skulls today. Yeah, that's the bright part. I'm looking forward to that. Anyway,
Diman, you sure you want to go back to the surface?
Yeah, I want to. Of course I want to.
Damn.
Anyway, gentlemen,
I'm envious.
once you finish delivering the things, just go back to the administrative office. Kairos is there waiting for you.
Oh,
Okay.
perfect. Awesome.
Cool.
Shit, where should
Okay.
we deliver everything? This is the
Basically, it's towards the center of the city, so you're in the
Yeah.
western side.
okay, yeah.
I can give you a lift if you want to. Basically, the procurement office, so you can return the things.
That would be nice. Yes, please.
All right, come aboard.
Nice, you
And
go
you
ahead.
kind of like take the ship, and you basically kind of like prepare yourself to lift off and go towards the procurement office, where you will return the items you've borrowed in case you needed them for your hunt. And since we're a little bit down on people today, I'm going to end the session now. I don't want to keep things
All right.
flowing with more people, so I'm going to end this. Not to mention, Rad told me he needed to leave earlier.
Actually, about that, I thought I was gonna have to leave earlier, but
Yeah, but I'm going to end it anyway because we're down 2 members. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
it's not fair. It's not fair to them that we keep playing. You know,
Fuck.
so
So-
what are we giving up anyways? Anti venom,
the things you took from the procurement office: the gas mask, the anti-venom,
mask.
So,
the potion of what something.
see
think
beyond
I-
true. So 2 of us had 2 vials of it. We didn't use them. We used the gas mask for like a minute, maybe.
Yeah, we used it for like 1 minute.
Yeah, and then the extras we had with those, I think we had like 1 extra each, and yeah, that was it. Yeah, because we didn't need hents or anything, because we had
no.
yeah. So it was just 8 anti-venoms, the gas mask, and the 2 vials of Beyond True. So I kept
And that's
those.
basically it.
Yeah, I'll get rid of those. Boop.
And that's it. That's the end of the session. I had to cut it a little bit earlier because we're down people. So that's that.
Oh shit!
Hey, level up since we finished the big mission.
Yes.
Oh
Stop
my
asking
God.
me for level ups. I will tell you
Can I
when to level
run
up.
it? Can I drink my potions next session?
If you
Uh,
want to. It's your potion. I gave it to you.
I've
You
held
can
it
just-
off for like 1 month IRL, basically.
You can choose to drink it whenever you want, man.
No, I'm not gonna drink it in the fucking Underdark. Are you
Hey.
crazy?
If you wanted to
I-
just start drinking it as soon as you get on the lift, and then we're just like stuck with you, you could do that.
I remember what Ronan said. It's gonna be 3 days of like literally agony.
We're just stuck carried around this unconscious thrashing body everywhere.
Yeah, like unless you guys, you want to carry me around.
Again, I told you. Well, I gave you information in regards to that. So
Yeah, unless you guys want to carry me around. Sure, I'll drink it. I'll
No,
drink it right now.
absolutely not. We have no way to carry you around. You're
Fucking,
huge.
like the
Oh,
vomit
shit.
elevator with that.
Yeah, you guys gotta carry me through the bomb elevator.
We just see it. Nobody noticed it. He does like a stealth check, and he just stealth drinks one of the potion while we get on the elevator.
I'm gonna stealth drink a potion. The first.
Oh my
when you're
god.
convulsing in the middle of the elevator, that's gonna be interesting.
Jesus.
Oh, I stealth drink.
But yeah, the elevator's going up, and then you see Damon go like fucking drowning in his own goddamn vomit.
We can't get through him.
And he's violently convulsing. That would be interesting. I mean, again, man, I told you I told you what the potion entails. So if you want to, you can drink it whenever you want. It's your choice.
Yeah. This guy.
Okay. No. We have to be at like some inn or just at least in the surface.
If you
Maybe.
drink that, I will just leave you there.
Kairos' house is a perfect place to drink it.
Yeah, I could be in
House is
agony
there.
in Karis' house. wait, it sounded right.
Yo. God,
Wow, we could have that. We could have took that for just anywhere. We could have took it back to the Aston Republic.
Hey, what happens if like someone else drinks it though? I'm actually curious.
dude, we
I don't
almost
think-
went to the negative energy plane on accident.
That's
I
true.
don't. I
Yeah,
don't.
that
Ronnie
would've
ever
been-
told me that. What happens if someone else drinks it?
You don't know. You want to try?
Can I spike? I want to spike Devon's drink next time.
What?
Oh my god.
Oh, Checo, prepare a second character just in case.
Yeah.